Good morning, y'all. It's Timothy. My brain is as busted as my motherfucking wall. I had 3 lemon drops in the worst evening ever last night, and I'm pretty sure I yet again went on a homicidal rant. But when do I? Well, I will always do that. Honestly, it's like that's kind of just been a core thing about me since a very young age. It's like, eh. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I don't think I'm built for monogamy anymore. I don't think I am. Deep down. Like, even when I get questions, it's like, okay. Like, the only way monogamy works for me is it fucking doesn't. Like, if me and a nigga are doing really, really well, it's because I have other niggas. So if a nigga is ever, like, having a good time dating me, and he's like, damn, she's so sweet and peaceful and at ease. She's always working hard and busy and just having the best time ever in her life. Tam is mentally healthy and safe and stable. You want to know why? Because I am making my rounds. It's like I'm going to be seeing Joey over here. We're going to go kayaking and salamander hunting, whatever the fuck that is. And he's going to fill up my brain for like 2 days. I'm going to focus on my goals, lock in for like 1 day, 2 days, relax. And then as that's going on, maybe I'll message you if I fucking remember, but I'm going to be locked in on my fucking goals. And then that's when, next thing you know, Michael's going to come up. And Michael is like, oh, Michael's the guy with the big, sweet baby brown eyes and the cute little pecan colored skin. And me and him are going to go out and have a fucking ball. We're going to go out like to a motherfucking arcade, to a movie. I may or may not tongue kiss him if he gets me some fucking bruschetta and some stracciatella soup at my favorite little Italian restaurant. And I am making my rounds. And then when it is your turn, I will be all smiles and happy, happy, joy, joy, because I have too much love to give to just one person. We have seen the consequences of what happens when I have too much love to give to one person, especially if the person doesn't deserve it. And you know what happens? Restraining order threats. You know what happens? Me having to be like, oh, damn, bro might go to the police about me if I don't fucking calm down. And if you're like, about what? I plead the fifth. I'm just kidding. It's not every single nigga doesn't get that. Some niggas do. Allegedly. But I like to be at peace. And I'm just saying, it's like if a nigga is the object of my affections, he's sadly gonna be taking up rent in my head space free. Or however the fucking quote goes. See, I'm so hungover I can't even think straight. But it's true. Recently, I had this guy. We've been flirty for about like 2 years or so. It's very interesting to know that if I didn't have the dumpster fire of a catastrophe that some would call a relationship, I would call a fucking traumatic mistake. If, like, simply put, this is the, like, it's so funny. To set the scene, I performed stand up comedy at an open mic for the first time, and I remember as soon as I got off stage and the event was wrapping up, and like I was getting close to the bar, I remember 3 niggas approached me rapid speed, trying to be the first one to compliment me. We can guess who the first one to compliment me is because he's the guy who I dated. But I'll put it this way: guy number 2 was very cute, a lot more funny, and a lot more charismatic, and a lot like I would have. So there's a bit of a what if there going on for like about a year or two that has not been entertained for a lot of reasons, especially because it's like, he saw me crash out multiple times. It's like, I think he was waiting for the flames of my anger about that situation with that evil man to finally, like, he needed the embers to, like, burn down a little bit and cool off before he's like, oh, it seems safe to take a little step in the timidity zone. And then let's just say he flirted with me recently, and it was out of nowhere. I got to grab his ass, and it was, niggas flirt with me in such an interesting way. Because it was funny, because it's like I looked really nice that day. Well, I flirted with him earlier in the evening by asking if I could pick him up in front of a bunch of people. He said no. He's 5'3" or some shit like that. I don't know, short niggas are cute. Meanwhile, though, later in the evening, I remember at some point he was like, excuse me, Tamia, I'm not trying to give you a lap dance. The water container, it's like just over here. I'm not trying to shake my goodies. Or he says some shit like that. And I said, hey, I wouldn't mind that. He said, he said, you might, hey, you could touch it if you want. And I was like, what? And he was like, I mean it. And I said, don't say that, Nate. You know damn well I will fucking do it. And he was like, I'm like, go ahead and do it. Do it. And so I got to grab his tight ass, and now his tight muscular ass is burned into my brain. Do you know how fucked up my brain has been since this man just let me grope his ass in the back of this fucking event we were at, and then just looks me in the eyes and is like, and now I have an erection, and then just walks off. It did something to my brain chemistry where I entirely forgot about the other nigga I was crashing out on. This man has taken up all the space in my head now. Like, damn, nigga. Buy me dinner before you fuck my brain over. Jesus. You can't fuck with my head for free. Like, my thoughts aren't that cheap, I think. But simply put, a part of me is like, it would have been good to, like, maybe before it would have been interesting to date him. I don't know, maybe. But modern day, a lot has happened. And simply put, he's one of those guys where he's always on the grind, always busy, always this, always that. And I probably wouldn't even be able to entertain one little platonic date. Like, even if he was like, hey, Tamia, you want to go out for Chinese food on this day? I probably would still have to say no unless I had, like, two other hoes, at least two, because I need a rotation. So that then, because how do I put this? If it's three niggas taking up space in my brain, it does this interesting thing where, like, how do I put this? I usually obsess over people a lot. They can take up every second of my brain as I do things, and it's exhausting. You know what helps? Variety. Because imagine if you have, like, if you have a hyper obsessive way of loving, and you got one nigga, you're gonna drown the fuck out of that nigga with your emotions. But if you're able to divvy up the flow of love three ways, then it's like an even cohesive stream of irrigation of love towards all niggas. You'll be like, okay, Liam with the beautiful blue eyes and the Angelina Jolie lips. Hell yeah, I scheduled you in for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You're great. Always locked in for that. Oh, here's Michael. Michael and me have plans to, like, do gondola rides this weekend. That could be sweet. Yeah. And then I'll remember you. I'll be like, oh shit, hey, there's that guy I had one date with. I probably won't, like, if I have other dates, I'm not gonna trip so much on, like, one guy I had one date with, because it's like, hey, I got all these other niggas on my roster too, and I have too much on my schedule, and I don't have time to talk to you all the time or do things. Also, interestingly enough, when I have more niggas on my roster, it makes me go, damn, I got too many niggas taking up my time. Let me fix this, and then it kind of throws me into my hobbies in a very interesting way. But it's best effective if I just simply do, like, if I, because, think of it this way. Imagine if I had a fun date with somebody and they were super sweet and over the moon, then every single second of every minute, screenwriting, thinking of that nigga, buying jewelry, thinking of that nigga, doing laundry, thinking of that nigga, anxiety, 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 why hasn't he messaged me back within 30 minutes, he hates me, I should kill myself. That's not healthy. But you know what? A temporary solution where everyone's happy is that if I know, okay, I got to text back Anthony as well as Michael, as well as this other nigga, then it's like, you have to take the time slots when you get it. Your time will come. I am making my rounds. Do not piss me off. A hyper obsessive, clingy girlfriend is only fun if you are someone who is either extremely deprived of any sort of emotional goodness in your life, or if you are also extremely clingy. Me and two Klingons just getting it on, I love that shit. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's people who are like, oh, have very high intensive jobs, very busy lifestyles, all that. And I know the type of person I am, and I can't afford therapy. So we will take what we can get. And by that I mean I will take any nigga I can get to shove into my phone, my DMs, and my schedule to live life peacefully. As well as hobbies. Trust me. I'm just saying. My recent fling with a guy, I'm so upset about it because I wanted it to work out so bad, but it didn't. And a part of me is like, damn, if it was like a week before, when I had like one rich ass nigga on my roster sending me like $100 Uber gift cards and taking me out to these fancy omakase places, and when I had that other nigga who got me the bundle of like lavender and roses and took me out to the jazz show, then I wouldn't even be tripping off this guy. He would just be like, like a fucking raindrop in a bucket of water. You know what I mean? It's like, you're just one of them. But no, since I had to specifically be deprived, the next thing you know, I was thirsty as fuck, and suddenly a drop of water feels amazing, and the next thing you know, you're in this weird little situation where you're kind of like someone you should just see as like, oh, not quite worthless, but like interchangeable to an extent. Instead, you have to see them as your all one and only because you're going to be thirsty as fuck, and their little drop of water is going to make you addicted to their drops of water. And the next thing you know, you're going to be obsessed with someone who cannot fill you in the way that you need to be filled. Pause. Emotionally. Believe it or not, I'm celibate with me niggas. But it is true. It's like with that recent guy, the spa date guy I was seeing. If things in my life, like if I was doing endless comedy show production, endless variety show production. I was doing like so many different events and activities and things. And what will you guess? It all exhausted me in a good way. To the point where I would even forget I had any niggas in my phone. Like, I have a bunch of niggas on Hinge having breakdowns and shit just because I was actually busy. Like, hella busy. And it felt good to actually be hella busy to the point where a man had to really come out and step to his absolute best to have my attention. Not just like any old motherfucker who just is like, hi, I want to go out with you for Chinese food and a little bit of like bare minimum level conversation, and then suddenly I'm acting like they're my future husband. You know what I mean? It's healthier for me this way. But yeah, also you will not tolerate breadcrumbing when you don't have time to collect breadcrumbs. When your time is filled by people trying to just throw bread at you, like full on steaming loaves endlessly your direction, and you only have room to catch the best and a few select good ones because you're too busy doing other shit, and you're already you already got your own bread, you already got your own sustenance. You don't need theirs. Theirs is nice as long as it adds to it and doesn't exhaust you or stress you out. Then simply put, you won't tolerate breadcrumbing. So shout out to me and having my multiple niggas to make my rounds because, in the great words of Gucci Mane, on to the next one, more fish in the sea. Girls are like buses, miss one, next 15 more coming. Bye.